Alright, welcome back to the final part, roughness for the concrete. Okay, so let's see. We're going to start by pulling off of this range, this histogram range, right over here, the one before the second, and we already did, so we're going to pull from this guy here. And we're going to do an invert. And the reason why we're inverting is because if we look at what we have, so if you click this, you see what it looks like before this node. So we're going to click here. And in height, the dark spots are lower than the brighter spots than the white, because white is 1, black is 0. So in the roughness, I want to make the deeper parts rougher than the topper parts, because you would assume that there's dirt in there. So the deeper the concrete, the rougher. But if we use the normal map, then when you translate height into roughness, the deepest part, if you were to use the same map, the same texture, it would actually be glossy. So I invert it so that the deepest point becomes the rougher point. That's why we use an invert. So this is the low, but if we look at it in roughness, it's also the low and the glossy. But I know this is still the low, but I want to make it rough. So we invert it. Okay. Now I'm going to do a histogram range because I want to squeeze the range of grayscale. Histogram range. And for this guy, we're going to do 0.45. And actually, excuse me, I'm going to plug this into the roughness. I'm going to bring these guys up so it's nice and straight. Okay. So yeah, you can see that this is the high point, and it's glossier than this point, which is rougher because it's the bottom. So that's doing its job. Now, let's go back to our range here, and we're gonna, if you move this up and down, the lower, the glossier, so this is like wet, dry. So we're gonna lower this to 0.45. I'm going to be a little bit on the glossier side. I like the roughness in my materials to be, very juicy, very contrasty. So I like having a wide range than just like, oh, it's super rough or it's super glossy. I like to have a very nice mix of both. Obviously, if it's sand, obviously I'm not gonna do that, but where it calls for it, where I have room for it. Okay, so then after this, we're gonna do a range, and I'm gonna do a levels again as my placeholder, so that when I put something in between, it doesn't go all the way down there. And then we're actually gonna do some levels. And then for this guy, I'm just gonna use this to turn down the overall glossiness. So I'm gonna just turn this guy down to 0.85 down here, just to do overall. And then I have a 0.05 for the level out low, so let's do 0.05. Okay. Looking a little too shiny for concrete. Maybe if you do like polished concrete. But then the surface wouldn't be this rough, it'd be smoother. Okay. So now we're going to do our first surface noise. So surface noise we know is here, this guy. So we're going to do a blend. We're going to place it inside. And we're going to do our normal workflow. We're going to do a uniform color, change it to grayscale, turn it all the way up, and plug it into the top. And actually, I'm going to start docking these because I'm pretty sure you guys by now know what they are. You guys know what's happening. And then, as usual, we're going to plug in from before the levels because we have a different use for this one. So we're going to do a separate levels, plug it in, dock it. And then for this mode, we're going to do add. I'm going to switch to add because I want to keep building on the roughness from below. So if you have you know, if you have dust on top of something that's already rough, it's gonna make it rougher. So I want to have that addition. I don't just want to copy on top. So I'm gonna change this to add, and now you can see that this is before and this is after. Obviously this is way too much, so I'm gonna use my levels here to lower it. And then I'm gonna do 0.175. I am also going to mess around with some of these sliders up here. Not that. Undo that. Go here. And I'm just gonna go like about. Now look what's happening, so you can understand what I'm doing. If we look at just the levels, I am bringing up more of the white value. So I'm gonna go about here, and I'll show you guys the values after I adjust this. I'm doing this different than in my demo because I like this a little better. Go like about here. Okay, so that is we're just gonna round these up. So 0.05, 0.73, 0.50, 0.175. Okay, let's keep going. So now we're layering on more and more roughness. And then this next one is going to be for the spots. So let's do our blend. Line it up with the one below it. And same workflow. We're going to add, because we're going to keep accumulating. Copy paste my thing, dock it, and then, you know, I'm just going to do this. Copy this, paste it, and then just get this guy ready. We can do this a couple times, so let's just do that. Get those guys ready. And then again, for this one, we're going to pull before the levels, because we have our own here. And now you can see that it's adding pure white. We don't want that. And then we just want to lower it. And, you know, adjust it to your liking. I did 0.2. Okay. And then for the next one, plug this into the middle and then this on top. Move it back up. And then for this one, this is going to be, okay, I did it separately. So this one, it's both of them together. I actually did mine one at a time. So this is going to go, oh, we already did that one. So this is going to be the small spots. So from here. And remember, this guy is both of these combined because we used it up here for the color. So actually, let me grab these guys. They can go over here. Right there. Get out of the way. Okay. So this is the small spots. Let's turn down their roughness. And remember, you want some good variation. You don't want anything to be super rough. So actually I'm going to go back over here and turn this guy down as well. Let's do 0.175. I think that's what I had originally. And then for the smaller ones, actually, I think these spots are way too dark. So I know this is not part of the base color tutorial, but I'm just gonna adjust them a little bit. Where are my spots at? Here and here. So let's actually bring this down a little bit. And then this one as well. We'll use the same value. What's this one set to? We'll do 0.3, and then we'll do 0.3 for this guy as well. Okay. Back to our roughness. Sorry for that. Let me double click here so I can look at the small spots. These are the smaller ones, so I want them to be a little bit more subtle. So I'm gonna go with 1.5. You can see here in the roughness, we're starting to see the spots there. Let's copy this guy. Let's get a couple more out here, and we'll just keep going down the line. Now the next one is for the damage. So let's move all the way down. So here. So for this one, we're gonna do from here. Actually, what I do is I'm gonna divert from my, my preview here. I'm gonna do things a little differently. It's because what I did is I did 1 levels for both of them combined, but I want to have different roughness values because some of these are deeper than the others, so I want the deeper ones to have a more rough value than the ones that are closer to the surface. So this guy, or sorry, before the levels, so this guy, plug into that levels. Now, in order to see it better, we're going to turn on our damaged boolean. Okay. Now, we don't want it to be this white because that's like super rough. So let's lower it a little bit. I think about 0.4. Let's do 0.41 or something. So let's turn it off and back on to see the difference. Very cool. Now we need to do the more subtle ones. So we'll plug this in here. Put ping. So now, so that was this guy, the big ones. Now we're gonna do the little ones. So from here and there, and then let's turn it down a little bit. So I want this to be less rough than these guys. So I did 4 or 0.41. So I'm gonna do like, I don't know, 0.2. Otherwise, they're going to be as rough as the deeper ones, and that just doesn't make sense. So you can see here, these are grayer than these ones. These are closer to white. So let's turn it off. Very cool. Okay, let's get a couple more of these guys. I don't know how many I think I don't need. I think that might be more than I need, but all right. Now we're going to need another switch here, and this one is going to be a damaged switch. So I'm going to just grab these guys, copy paste, and I'm just going to unplug everything from it and put this above it. This is going to go into the false, and this is going to go here. Oh, look at that, it's wet. And then, let me see. I'm gonna do this, and this is gonna go in here, like that. And then this is gonna go on top. And then we need to plug in something into this level. And that something is let me look at this again. Okay, I realize now why it's a little different than what I had, because I did this differently. So this is actually going to go down here, and this is going to go... Wait, no. Sorry. This is going to go here. And then this is going to go here, and that's going to get moved over here. Now the reason for this is because what I did in the previews, I had these together, so I took from here. But because we're doing individual roughness values for the subtle and the big ones, then there's 2 of these. And then the other thing is, these are for the switch. So you need both of these to go into the true. And then if none of these, if we don't have damaged on, then it's going to play this. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we'll do a little adapting. And now we're going to do the cracks. So let's move these guys out of the way. And then I'm going to copy the frame and copy the switch, unplug everything, put you over here. I'm going to move these guys so that these strings don't get in the way. That. Just going to go here. Then I need to pull from I'm pulling from the cracks itself. So from down here, from the bottom one, the output, put that into the levels. And then this is going to go into false. We're just going to go in the middle, and then this is going to go into true, and then this is to connect to the ongoing track. Now we're going to use this levels to gauge how strong we want the cracks to be. We don't want the cracks to be as strong as the deep crevices, the damage, so I'm going to go with like 0.35. And I'm going to turn this. Wait, are cracks on right now? No. There we go. Something wrong with our color. Our color should not be. Let's check the color. I think something's missing. Let me check my graph. Okay, I realize what's going on. Yeah, so we don't want, because originally I didn't think I intended for this to be like 4 different materials, right? Base concrete, concrete cracked, concrete damaged, then concrete damaged, then cracked. So it was either going to be damaged or cracked, but since I said it'd be 4, let's fix what's going on here. So right now, our crack color is, going on top of the damage, which we don't want because the damage height is overpowering the cracks. So we don't want the color to go on top, otherwise it's going to look like this. So I am going to take from this blend where the two of these, the subtle damage and the strong damage are blended together. I'm going to pull from it and I'm going to do a scan. And I'm going to jack this up to 1 and 1 because I want it to be a super harsh mask because it's going to be a hard cutoff. So I'm going to do a blend, and this should go on top because we're subtracting this from the cracks. So we need this guy here, which is coming from our cracks. So we're going to pull this into the middle here, and then we're going to change to subtract. So you can see here that this is our normal cracks, and then we're going to subtract this from it, and we get this. Hold on, I need to think about this some more because if we leave this, if we plug this into here, that is correct. It does get rid of it. So you can see here, this crack is inside this crevice, and if we turn this off, it takes it out of there. But now this is overriding cracks, so now if we turn off damage, although damage isn't here, it's still being deleted from cracks, which is not what we want. So I need to think about that. So 1 second. Okay, that took me about like 3 minutes, maybe less. Okay, so what we need to do is actually, oh god, did I lose my train of thought? These guys, I moved these guys over some. And then I think this needs to happen here. Alright, so after spilling my drink on my keyboard again, and having to clean it up, I thought about this, and we're actually going to leave it with just, we are going to backspace these two guys here. And we're not gonna do 4. We're just gonna do it's either damaged or cracked because we need another boolean where it's like we need another boolean where it says like both cracked and switched, or not cracked and damaged. And then we'll have to rethink our height and stuff. So I don't want to have to go back and the third part, the roughness part, be a fix of everything. So for this case, and you probably have enough information here to figure out how to do a third one, and like you'd have to do a third boolean where it's like both, and then you'd have to have a third option where it's like you subtract the right masks, like you subtract the damage from the cracks. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's gonna take way too long, and I have to like rethink it and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you should have the tools here to do the troubleshooting and the problem solving. Yeah, so right now it's either going to be, you either do, this one, damaged or cracked. So actually, we need to, well actually let me turn this off. Yeah, never mind. Okay, yeah, it is fixed. So yeah, you can look here at we're going to click the final base color. And then if we do cracked, there's our cracked base color. We turn it off. We turn on our damaged. There's our damaged one. Okay. So let's just bring damaged back. Where did we leave off? We did this one. This is our cracks. And there is our cracks there. Okay, so yeah, so here is both our cracks, which we don't want. We need to pull from, oh, well, yeah, actually, yeah, we turn off damaged. Okay, now it's just cracked. And then if it was just cracked, so let's turn on cracked. The roughness is there. Okay, good. Okay. Now that we went over that, cleaned my keyboard up. I literally got this keyboard 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago, because I spilled my drink on that keyboard. But that keyboard I had for like 2 years. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the only thing left now is just to add our dirt. This guy. So we're gonna move this back out. We just need one of these now. I'm just gonna keep this here just in case. I don't think we'll need them. Plug this into the middle, and then plug this into the continuation. Put this here, and then this is going to go into our here. That should be set to add. And then let's go to damage because we're able to see more of the roughness with damaged on. And let's turn off cracked. And then let's tune the strength of how much of the roughness comes in. So this is off. So we'll just add a very subtle like dirt layer. We'll do like 0.15 here. 0.15. I'm liking that. Even this might be too strong. So let's see. So let's go into this one here and turn this one down a little bit more. We'll do like 0.15. Oh, no, not this one. This is a subtle one. This guy. The deeper crevices. Do like 0.25. Let's see how that affects the final. We'll do 0.3. Okay, let's inspect our roughness. So if we look closely, we have small details in here, like these little specks. That's really nice. Very cool. And you could can keep adding more and more layers of detail and make it look very awesome, very badass. But I think for now, this is where I'll keep it. Let me save that. So let's see what it looked like before with no, shrink this left side here. Let's see what it looked like with no roughness. So let's get a nice angle here. Let's plug in our default 0.5. This is what it looked like before and then after. And like I said, I like having some nice contrast. So here you see it's very shiny right here. And then it's like rougher here. And then if you pan around, you get some nice contrast. Very juicy. Let's look at it in a rounded cube. And if you hold Control and Shift and then drag, right click and drag, you can move your light source. Let's try the sphere 2 tiles. Alright, well I hope you guys learned something. I guess mainly about the troubleshooting and the switches, the booleans. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you liked, didn't like, would you like different, and any suggestions. I think next for the fourth tutorial, I'm gonna do something more realistic. I'm working on some like bathroom tiles, so a little sneak peek of what's coming up, and that's gonna be more realistic rather than stylized. I think we've done like 3 stylized now, so I think it's good to do a little, more realistic. Also, I want more practice with more realistic materials, so it's a good way to force myself to try something else for you guys. And then if you want to change your big crevices here, go here to your damage shape and just change this histogram here if you want bigger, and it'll all adjust, which is very cool, very nice, and it's all procedural, so play with it. It's very fun. You can do some cool stuff. Cool stuff. Very nice. All right. Well, I'll see you guys on the next tutorial. Have a nice 4th of July. I doubt you guys are watching the same days as posted, but see you guys next time. One little thing I forgot is at the end here, just like we did with the base color, we had a little sharpen. You can also add one here with the normal, after the normal, I mean. If we look at it at an angle, let's turn it off and turn it back on. Off, on, off, on. It makes your stuff here look a little bit more like rough, more concretey, but we're gonna do about half. Again, this is completely up to you. I like it because I think it looks a little crisper. What about the roughness? Should we try one here? Let's see. Off, on. Yeah, I don't hate it. Um, but yeah, they'll have to throw in at the end. Alright, for realsies. Alright, see you guys on the next one.